Hello everyone, Neonix Rose here, and today I saw Game Devs of Color Expo going on and I just had to take a look. And look what I found. Death Trick Double Blind. I had to take a look because this is a non-linear detective visual novel about the Morgan Traveling Circus, but their lead magician has gone missing, their lead star. So we're gonna get, hopefully, their performers' stories, their secrets, and where in the world did this star go? Come join me. Let's take a look at Double Trick, Double Blind. Death Trick, Double Blind. Pardon me. Oh, cute! I love the top hat. Morgan Struggling Circus. Old school. Oh, delayed. TBA. Where's the lead? Wrestling match? Real circus? Ooh. Boss refuses to answer. Uh-oh. Huh? A new case. Hmm. Whew, that was a little punchy, but I like it. That was old school. That felt really old school. I like it. So we are the detective. Got a message about this. And did you guys catch that the the manager refuses to answer any questions? So that's interesting. All right. This is it. I have to make it work. Hmm? Come in, Mr. Morgan. An old gentleman sits behind the desk. He's so engrossed in his documents that he didn't even look up when I came in. Oh, this is that old detective twist. I love these old movies like this. She walked in the door. Her slink legs and firm figure told me that, like that. I love it. Mr. Jones, I've been expecting. He stops mid sentence after glancing up from the desk. Oh, hello, Moses. My apologies, wasn't expecting another visitor. Moses Morgan is the owner of Morgan's Traveling Circus. Okay, so this is the owner. This is the one that was said to not answer questions. Jacqueline, but you can just call me Jackie. Oh, I guess right. I was guessing because of the hair bun. Alright, Miss Jackie, is there anything I need to do for you? Sometimes conversations can feel like a battle, and if you need all the weapons in your arsenal. Ooh, a good conversation can wield every skill and weapon in their collection to accomplish any task. Great Ask questions, give answers, present evidence, spread gossip. Ooh. This is your collection. Everything you need for the conversation can be found here, separated into three categories: information, items, and people. You can click these tabs on the top and switch between categories. From the click on the item and click the checkmark button to present the topic and advance the conversation. Later, you will be able to present everything you know, collect collection to anyone you want. But for now, focus on answering the other party's questions and keep the conversation flowing. Okay. So, mind writing act? Huh. Let's take a look at this. We've got situation in the circus, which is the main thing, about Jackie, which I think is the magician, the mind reading act, and then we got a letter from Hattie, a silver gun, and him. Okay, so let's do the situation here. Since the disappearance of the magician, the amazing Hattie, Morgan's traveling circus has been put under the spotlight as newspapers are speculating on the mystery and customers are demanding refunds. Actually, the right question is there anything I can do for you? Excuse me? Your circus is in a tough spot. He narrows his eyes, but decides not to speak. Instead, he leans back into his chair and crosses his arms, waiting for me to continue. That is a very guarded, very guarded way. I must be careful here. Your star performer has been missing for a week. People are talking, the papers are speculating, and your customers are protesting. You sold your tickets on the promise of seeing the amazing Hattie, the greatest female magician of the generation, but nobody has seen her performance since a single trick. Even a single trick. It's the weekend, and the big show is coming up. If she doesn't show up, he cuts me off, his sharp gaze piercing my soul. Miss Jackie, why are you here? Let's take a look about Jackie. I, Jackie, am the magician, a new one, freshly returned from my apprenticeship in Europe. Ooh. I'm here to audition, of course. You're here to audition? Uh-huh. For the magician job. Yes. I'm a magician, and... He doesn't let me finish that sentence. You said your name was Jackie. Never heard of a magician with that kind of name. Do you know every magician in the country? Oh, smartass. More or less. We don't get a lot of female magicians. I'd have heard about you by now. And that mask of on your face is practically asking for gossip. Wonder what kind of mask I have. Small circle, huh? I get it. The Europeans are the same way. So you're European, but your accent is American. Yes, I was born and raised in the States, but I went to France with my mentor to study magic. That is, what, 5, 6 years ago? Oh, good. I just got a. I was just a stupid girl who wanted to learn magic. I mean, I still a stupid girl. But at least I know how to do magic. I like her attitude. Anyway, where was I? Right. Yes, it was right after the war ended. The economy wasn't great, as you can imagine. I stuck with it until I completed my apprenticeship, but then the circus shut down too. My family missed me and wanted me home, so here I am. I promise you, I'm au fait. I apologize for that. With everything magic, I'm a professional. That was French and I did not get it good. So, you need a magician, like yesterday, and here I am. A wondrous coincidence, wouldn't you say? Oh yes, a coincidence. That is a twist. You'll have to forgive me if I find it hard to believe that a replacement just showed up here and seemed to know more about my business than I do. You don't even show your face. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Everybody knows your business now. The mask is on for a reason. Don't look the gift horse in the mouth. Let's try that. As we established, you need me. Everything else is merely secondary. As they say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Yeah, you'll get nipped. Well, I know better. Good thing I don't just fall out of the sky. Not for me. Good things don't fall out of the sky just for me. Chances are the horse has the teeth of a shark ready to bite me in the ass. I like this guy. I promise you, not only does this horse have the best intentions, the horse also does magic. The banter. No offense, Miss Jackie, but I'm gonna need something more than talk to convince me. I have a business to run and a reputation to uphold. How about this? You said you were here to audition. So audition. Show me your trick. Okay. Ooh. The mind reading act. My signature trick is telepathy act. People often ask if it's real or fake. Well, if I can give the right answer, does it matter if they come from a mystical power or just good old human trickery? That's true. Mind reading acts. They're often about observation and experience. And sometimes a bit of underhanded watching and research on people. Implanted audience, but let's take a look. Oh, that makes sense, of course. I do your usual stuff, rabbits in a hat, card tricks, escape acts, and that sort of thing. But my specialty is mind reading. Mind reading? Oh, mind reading act. If you're good enough, there isn't a difference. Try it. You want me to try it on you? You have my permission. Good. Okay, here goes nothing. It's good that they pointed out I give my permission. That's really, really good. Well, I'm trying, but your energy is resisting me. Right. I think I'm going to need a stronger connection. Can you give me your hands? This is part of it. He silently lays both of his arms on the table. I grab his wrists. His eyes are calm. His pulse is steady. Now say abracadabra. Seriously, you'll need to come up with something better than that. See? Your energy. Resisting. I can't believe I'm going along with this. I like this guy. Fine. Abracadabra. Abracadabra. I like that. All right now. I'm gonna ask you a very simple question. You don't have to say the answer, because I'll hear your thoughts. Sounds good? Go ahead. Are you sure? I can control my powers, so if there's anything you don't want me to know. Well, actually, now that I said it, you'll be thinking really hard about them. I've stared down the barrel of a rifle and the jaws of a tiger. I can handle a little magic act. All right, if you're sure. And that is true. To get somebody to think of their darkest secret, bring it up and make them edgy, and it would be on the forefront of their mind. Here it comes. Your magician Hattie. How did she die? Oh, the magician died. Oh, look at that face. We know. His hands in my palm struck slightly. Guess he caught himself before he pulled back altogether. That's good. Oh, this girl's good. But it's too late. I'm in his initial surprise, his eyes flickered to my chest, which means something happened in her chest. Either she was shot, which I'm assuming because we have the gun and such. Something through the heart. A bullet? Oh. The corner of his mouth twitches. Yep, it's a toe. No, not a bullet. A knife. His face turns serious. Hmm. How? Through mind reading, of course. No, through. That's why mind readers often want your wrists or your hands. They read your pulse. It's one of the parts of the trick. They read your pulse. Asking a question, your pulse quickens or slows or dips or flutters. Don't give me that. Well, did I pass your test? Why are you here? And don't tell me you're just looking for a job. There's a reason I'm not looking for a replacement. The amazing Hattie left behind some big shoes, or should I say, big hats to fill. Do you have any idea what the audience will say to anyone who tries to replace her at this point in time? I know, all of that. But what if I told you she wants me to be here? The letter. The letter. Jay, something's going on at the circus. I need you to watch out. If something happens to me in Tuglay, please go take my place. I can't say more right now, but please, the show has to go on. Ooh. I received this letter a few days ago. I came as soon as I could. Yep, that's what we just read. Jay. Yep, this is what we just read. The Amazing Jackie. Show must go on, the Amazing Hattie. He pours over the letter, brows furrowed. A letter from Hattie. There's Hattie. The Amazing Hattie was a star magician of Morgan's Traveling Circus until she disappeared on Saturday the 15th, 1952, that is, this Monday. This Monday. Oh, interesting. What? What is she talking about? Something's going on in the circus. 1952. So I had the thought right of the voices. So, nothing's going on in my circus. If anything was happening, I'd surely know about it. Don't you think? I. He curses under his breath. But this means she's not dead. I received a letter from a dead person. She knew she was going to die. She knew she was going to die. This means she knew she was going to die. Or at least that she was in danger. Oh, as hard as it is to believe, you're right. But how is that even possible? Why didn't she do anything? She might have tried, though she might have known it wasn't possible to get away from it. His lips quiver. I can see the doubt and the disbelief on this usually impassive face. Yep, she got to him. I feel bad for him, but I can truly rule out that he's the culprit. Or can I rule out that he's truly the culprit? I clear my throat and as if that woke him up from a dream, he sits upright, his face returning to its normal stoic nature. So the show is coming up, and I think there is a reason Hattie called me to take her place. We have a great opportunity here. I'm afraid I don't quite understand. I do. I'm sure you are a great magician, but at this point, I'm afraid no replacement can meet the audience's expectations. Well, good thing I'm here. I'm not here to replace her then. Well, good thing I'm not here to replace her then. It's true, she's just here to stand it. I'm here to become her. Oh. She's here to fake it. To make it seem like she's back, like nothing's gone wrong. But that would bring out the threat. Nice. Huh? Let's talk about this plan. What plan? How many people know about the truth of Hattie's disappearance? Yeah, because if Hattie suddenly comes back after it's believed that she's dead by the killer or maybe even a witness, they're gonna jump like there's a ghost or they're up to something. Or very guarded or overplay their personality. For now, only my crew and the police. Uh, what does the police say about? Are you sure there's no one else? Could they have told other people? The police have no interest in letting news slip, and my people understand the gravity of the situation. I think it's safe to say we've kept the lid pretty well sealed so far. There's always a leak somewhere. You just have to find it. I guess that'll work. Would you please just get to the point? Well, let's say, hypothetically, what if Hattie wasn't dead after all? I can pinpoint the exact moment his face switches from confusion to understanding. Yep. You're going to be Hattie. Let's say the reason for her disappearance is that her face got injured in a practice accident or incident, and now she has to wear a mask to cover up the wounds. True. Not only that, she was very beautiful. And in 1950s, still very much about the beauty. Just like it is today. You had this all planned from the beginning, didn't you? Well, I am a magician. I'm not gonna lie, having Hattie come back, at least until we can get the big show out of the way, will certainly solve a lot of my problems right now. As you pointed out, our circus is currently in a bit of a delicate position. But I cannot, in good conscience, agree to this plan of yours. Why? 'Cause it's deceit? What? Sorry. What? Why? Come, don't tell me you're sticking to some bullcrap about not lying to the audience or something. In case you haven't noticed, deception is kind of the nature of our trade. That's true. No. Well, that's not ideal, but I don't think it's breaking any non existent code of ethics or anything. Then why in the world would you say no? Do you enjoy being grilled by the press and customers every damn day? He crosses his arms. Yeah. I don't know if this has occurred to you, Miss Jackie, but the killer is still out there. That's the point, dude! This crazy plan of yours will surely draw their attention and therefore put you in mortal danger. That's the point! For a manager, he's slow. You're worried about me? Aw, that's really sweet, but I can take care of myself. You don't understand. I will not have another death happen on my circus. Trust me, nothing is going to happen. How can you be so sure? Think about it. Whoever killed her was definitely counting on her to get out of the way for something. So my appearance is going to put a wrench in their plans. If it were you, what would you do? I have no idea. Exactly. You'd panic. Scramble to come up with something new, right? That's when you make mistakes. A magician would never do a trick when you think someone's seeing through it. That is true. That is very, very true. Because it gives them away. That's the same with the sleight of hand artists and such. So you want to, what? Talk to everyone? See their reaction? Is how their reaction is? How's that going to help? Somebody's going to slip up. Mind reader here. Remember, I'm not some detective with a magnifying glass concerned about footprints or crime scenes. I deal with matters of the heart. She just gave it away, the pulse reading. Whoever did this must have a reason. But why? What is the relationship to Hattie? Do they feel guilty, proud, relieved? One may keep the evidence of their crimes hidden, but their heart will always remember what their mind has tried to forget. Ooh, whoever wrote this is mwah. They know it's perfect, right on point. So if I ask them about Hattie, feelings will emerge, and I think some interesting things might come up. Inquire about Hattie. What would the killer be the killer's real motive? The first step to answer this is to untangle each circus member's relationship with the victim. I need to talk to everyone in the circus and inquire about Hattie. Oh, one, two. Oh, there were several people. Are you absolutely sure about this? I am fully aware of the risks. Besides, who am I to throw away someone's dying wish? The show must go on. Plus, if, or more realistically, when the killer decides to come out, I have plenty of tricks up my sleeves to deal with them. Hmm, there's a gun. Or should I say, up my dress? That surprised him. Whoa, what are you? He jerks his head around to avoid looking. Why? Why does he squirm at guns? No, look. Oh, because she raised her dress. Okay. I thought it was about the gun. I tap on the metal of the gun in my leg holster. Oh, yep. What do you say? Very well. But I'm pulling you out at the first sign of trouble. Awesome. The plan is a go. Now, let's talk logistics. Alright, first things first. This thing we are doing, I have to explain it to the rest of the crew. They know about Hattie, so it'll be crazy if they see her showing up out of the blue. Of course, but you might want to, leave out a few details. Yes, I'll just tell them it's my idea to get someone to play her until the show is finished. Switcheroo. I'm going to take Hattie's place by impersonating her. This will implicate circus customers. This will placate circus customers' anger over Hattie's disappearance and hopefully draw out the person who's Hattie's death. Behind Hattie's death. Moses will tell me, the performers, that it was his idea to hire me. Second, second, I think you might pass as her from afar, but you're going to need everything on your side for everyone to believe it, especially with all the scrutiny that you're going to be under. It'll help if you are in something familiar. You'll need to change into her costume. I was gonna ask you about that. You need to go find Ale, our mechanic. Your mechanic? Yes, Ale is the charge of our stage props and costumes. She also helps pretty much everything that has to do with the show's arrangements. She's the only one besides the performers who know what happened to Hattie. I'm sorry, but I can't really leave the office. I'm expecting someone important. Well, he did seem to be waiting for the detective. I'll write you a note. She'll understand when she sees it. And here's a map. This time of day, Allie is definitely backstage at the little tent right behind the big top. Just introduce yourself, and she'll help you with the costume. And she'll tell you everything you need to know for your performance tonight. I can do that. Getting into character, Moses reluctantly agrees to my proposal to let me masquerade as Hattie, but the show can't start until all players are in the costume. So the important task at hand, find the circus mechanic Allie in the backstage tent and put on Hattie's old costume. So there's 7 people in the circus other than this guy. And now myself. Now, last thing, it is absolutely imperative that you don't go wandering around in the public areas before you are formally introduced to the audience. Got it. Can't spoil the surprise, right? We're walking on a tightrope here. We can't let anyone spot you in an uncontrolled environment. Of course. Is that all? Yes. Get in the costume. Don't let the public spot you. And remember that the performers know about the ruse. If we can manage to do all of that, maybe we'll pull this crazy plan of yours off. You are a great magician in your own way. I'll take that as a compliment. Rightly so. Alright, unless you have anything else to ask me, you need to be on your way. Yes, I do. Alright, here I am. Haha, that was cool. Oh, okay. AP5, okay. At 9. Here's the detective. Ugh. My head hurts. Where am I? Huh? What's going on here? Alright, think. Someone clearly did this to me. I need to find them, do something. Find my attacker. I woke up next to the train station by the circus, missing my clothes and some of my recent memories. Seems like someone whacked me over the head hard enough to knock me out. Who did it? What? Where? Why take my belongings? Does this have anything to do with the case I'm investigating? I need to find the answers to these questions. I love the music. Wow. Need to figure out why I'm here and how I got here. So we are now the detective instead of, the stand-in. But first things first. I'm gonna need some pants. I'm in my boxers. Woo! Really? Did they have to take my clothes too? What was I wearing again? Shh, I can't remember. That's not good. Why can't I remember? Do you have a concussion? Do I have a concussion? I'm sure whatever I'm wearing wasn't worth much. Whoever took them must be desperate. Robbery victim. I woke up in a corner behind the trains without money in my clothes, but with some freshly had trauma. I think I was knocked out by a robber looking to make some extra cash. Or you were knocked out by the murderer who doesn't want to be investigated and left you for blah. Okay, fine. We'll deal with that later. At least this guy left of me with my undershirt shorts and a smidge of dignity. Get up from the ground slowly, cradling my achy head. As I rise, something falls out to the ground. A bobby pin? Must have fallen out of my pocket when they took off all my jacket. A tiny double-pronged pin, useful if you're holding long hair in place or for detectives in conspicuous lockpick. These were in short supply during the war due to metal rationing efforts. Now fully awake, I can stand awkwardly in my undergarments in an unfamiliar place. Take a peek around the corner. Not many people are around. I step out from behind the train cars and get the lay of the land. Huh? I have a feeling I'm not in San Francisco anymore. Of all places, why a circus? Look around to see if anyone's around to give me a much-needed information. Unfortunately, only the chilly autumn air fills the field. Ooh, that's gotta be bad. Just in your, undertops and bottoms and... Ooh, autumn. But I spot something in the distance. A payphone next to a train station. Right. I can call Ruth. Hopefully she can tell me something about whatever case I was working on. I rub my arms for some heat and head to the phone booth. Is it really that cold, or is it just me feeling naked? I duck into the phone booth and close the door. Let's hope Ruth has some good news for me. At least tell me I have a hotel room nearby with some clothes or something. Oh, shh, I'm an idiot. Of course I don't have a cent on me. I was about to ask about that. How are you supposed to call? Shh, shh. No one around to help either. Maybe I'll get lucky and somebody forgot to collect their change? No dice. Okay, only one way left then. If I can ground the transmitter circuit, this will work if the coin passes through. I need something small and metal. Oh, yeah, the bobby pin. Pull that down a little bit. Alright. Dialing. What city, please? San Francisco, California, please. The number for Jones Investigative Services, Jones, on Market Street. Checking under Jones Investigative Service, Jones, on Market Street. Got it. Patching you through. That's old school. Wow, I've heard that they used to do it this way. Hello, Jones Investigative Services. How can I help you? Yeah. Ruth, it's me. Mr. J, you finally made it to Tule? What took you so long? I thought you were supposed to be there yesterday. Ooh. Don't tell me you got pulled into some weird shenanigans again. This time it's not my fault, I think. What do you mean, you think? Well, I was robbed. Remember that time in Providence? You got drugged again? I thought you promised to be careful with that sort of thing. What business did you poke your nose into this time? Is it even related to the case? No, I didn't get drugged again. That's ridiculous. I know better now. This time they really did it the good-fashioned way, by whacking me over the head. Really hard, I think. Ouch. So, I guess kinda lost my memory on a few things. I see. Like Providence, huh? Well, at least you remember your name and this number. That's something. Yep, that's something. Anyway, what's the situation over there? You okay? Do you need me to call someone to help? No, I'm fine. I mean, I need to find something to wear and fast. It's kinda getting cold out here. I think whoever hit me and took my wallet, too, unless I didn't have it with me, which seems unlikely. And my head is kinda hurts. I think it might be a concussion. Can't be sure. don't remember where I was staying, and if I needed money to get there, then I'm kinda effed. I kinda made this call illegally too, but it's 2 cents. I'm sure the payphone companies can survive it. So, yeah. But other than that, I'm great. Sounds like quite a day. The last thing I remember was when I was in San Francisco. I'm definitely missing a few days. I'm gonna need some catch up if you don't mind. Mr. J, with the amount of time your brain gets tossed around your skull, it's a wonder you have enough mind left to be a detective. Ouch! Well, that's why I'm the best person for the job. Keep telling yourself that. Anyway, I assume I'm here for a job. I remember something about a call from Thule. That was like 4 or 5 days ago. Seriously? Wow, we're missing 4 or 5 days. Whoever knocked you out must have got it in a good hit. So I wonder if we might have that we got too close to the killer. I think I know the basics. I can give you the basic rundown of the case. Uh, about the client. Who's the client? Our client is Moses Morgan, the owner of Morgan Traveling Circus. Anything else we know about Mr. Morgan? Not much. He isn't the usual P.T. Barnum type, but from what I could gather, he's not really one for the spotlight. But he seems to have a good rep in the business. Popularity in the industry, no major complaints against him, which would which could either be a very good sign or a very bad sign. That's true. Either he's done nothing wrong or he's done things wrong and um gotten rid of the evidence. Well, I guess you can find that out yourself. Alright, about the case. What happened at the circus? Their magician, the amazing Hattie, went missing. Since when? Since Monday, almost a week now. Why didn't they call the police? So the magician has been missing for almost a week. Why didn't they call the police? From what I understand, they did. Then why are they calling me? You'll have to ask the client that. Okay, I guess I need to talk to the client as soon as possible. Or maybe I already did? That's a thought. Or what a thought. Well, from what we know, he didn't. I can't well go see him dressed like this. Please tell me you know where I'm supposed to be staying. Who do you think books all your rooms? Your motel is on Shermer Road. Right next to the circus. Shouldn't be any trouble finding it. Alright, that's the plan then. Motel, get dressed, meet the circus boss. Talk to the client. My client is Moses Morgan, the owner of Morgan's Traveling Circus. He hired me to investigate the disappearance of the star magician. I need to talk to him, but I need to look presentable first. Hopefully I can find some suitable clothes back at my motel room. I'll get on it. Thanks, Ruth. I'll see you when I get back to San Fran. And say hi to Thief for me. Don't let him steal too many sandwiches. Be careful. Wait until your mother hears about this, young man. I was hoping to avoid that. You should know better than that by now. That woman knows everything. At least hold off on tattling to her until I get the chance to do it myself, please. You're the boss. Wait, one thing before you go. What? Be careful doing your detective thing in the circus. Yep, we already covered that. My head will remain intact for the rest of this investigation, I promise. I don't mean be careful with yourself. That's a lost cause at this point. I meant to be careful with the circus people. What do you mean? Look, I had a cousin who was in the circus back in the day. The Carnies, it's almost likely they have their own little secret society. they are insanely protective against any anyone they view as an outsider. That is true. I've heard that too. The cooperative force, but they'll never tell you anything useful if they don't trust you or at least respect you. So don't go all the way in doing your thing. What thing? I don't have a thing. Just don't be so you. It might make them anxious. What do you mean exactly? I can hear her sigh on the phone. You look like someone who wants to make a mass arrest. But I'm not a cop. Just be more gentle than usual, okay? Try getting them to trust you. Easier said than done. I know. Circus secrets. Ruth told me that the carnies are notoriously weary people. They view as outsiders. They could make my investigation difficult. And that's why the girl, the other magician, is going inside. Never mind, I'm sure it will all work out as usual, although I have no idea how you keep pulling it off. I don't either. Anything else, boss? Nope. You better be going then. Lots of work to do. Sometimes I think she only calls me boss to humor me. I think so too. I steady myself and open the payphone door again. I peek my head out to see if anyone's around. But this time I catch a glimpse of someone and they're holding something awfully familiar. It looks a lot like my wallet. And the stranger, the robber probably, is rifling through it. I approach quietly, formulating a plan in my head. He's about 6'4". Whoa, 6'4", wow. With wide shoulders and arms like cannon barrels. Strong man? As I move closer, it feels like his frame is blotting out the sun. No wonder he managed to knock me out. I'm not egotistical as I think I could possibly beat him in a fight. A fair fight. And since I don't have any weapons or allies nearby, I only have a few options. Try to negotiate. I reach out to pat him on the shoulder. He's really tall. Hey! He whips around in alert, almost tripping over himself. Despite his imposing stature, he's obviously quite young, probably in his early 20s. Who? Didn't think I'd wake up quickly, did you? Joke's on you, this isn't my first rodeo. What? Shh, listen, you don't want to make a scene, do you? I guess not. So, how about this? I'll let you keep the cash, but I really need the rest of my wallet back. There are some personal things worthless to you, but priceless to me. What? I'm not going to... Did you say this was your wallet? Come on, you just took it from me. I don't think you did. And where did you put my clothes? I didn't do anything like that. I think you've got the wrong person. I just found this wallet on the ground just over there outside of the train car. I was checking inside to see if there was a name or picture or something. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Oh. I'm so sorry for the misunderstanding. He scratches his head and laughs it off. Hey, don't worry about it. I'm sorry, what happened to you? I think someone knocked me out and took my stuff, so when I woke up, saw you hold my wallet, well... In my defense, my head still feels fuzzy. Probably a concussion. You sure this is your wallet? You checked inside, right? It's probably has my business card in it. Jones Investigative Services? He looks again and pulls out the card. Yep, there it is. When a mystery surfaces, call Jones Investigative Services. We really need a new slogan. And over there in the pocket, there should be a photo of my cat. It says thief on it. Oh, cat's a thief! That's cute! Why does it say thief? Because it's his name for one, and two, it's my cousin. I found a cousin. That's his name. My friend found it hilarious because I'm a detective. He looks at the photo and smiles. Aw, cute little guy. His gaze lingers on the photo for a few seconds before putting everything back in its place and handing the wallet back to me. Well, sorry about that. Here you go. Looks like inside the wallet there's a name card, photo, and surprisingly $20 in cash, with a few quarters to boot. That's not a small amount of money, probably a week's worth of salary for an average worker, so they weren't after money, they were trying to get him out of the way. That proves a lot. Old and beaten down, but it's mine. Inside is a photo of my cat thief and a business card for my office. Jones Services, I got back a little more than $20 inside. There's... Excuse me. There's still 20 bucks in here. Yeah, you said you were robbed? Something doesn't make sense here. Yeah, I just explained it. Occasionally, you may realize the information you have doesn't add up. Someone might be lying to you or might be making the wrong assumption. This is where contradiction comes in. Click on the labels on the top to switch between present and contradict. When the two items from your collection that contradict each other, to point out the logic inconsistency and get to the bottom of the question. One more note, you will still be presenting contradictions to people. Note who you are talking to. If they know nothing about what you are talking about, then the contradiction won't matter to them. Okay. The contradiction hit turned on whenever a contradiction is available with the current NPC. The exclamation point will shake here to let you know. Ah, good to know. If you don't think you need the help, you can turn off the contradiction hint in the settings under basic. You can, okay, so now try to put the information together. Evidence do not add up here. Try using contradiction and collection, pointing them out. Okay, so clearly a robbery victim and the wallet. So contradict the robbery victim and okay, and the wallet. The money inside is more than anything. Okay. Contradiction. A robber looking for money definitely wouldn't have left more than $20 cash in my wallet. I thought whoever robbed me must have been looking for money. But there's still cash in my wallet. That would be the first thing they'd take. Perhaps they didn't see the wallet fall on the ground? Yeah, that's why they took my clothes. They didn't find money, so they took whatever they could. You said you found it by the train? Yeah, it was sitting out in the open. I don't think they could have missed it if it was looking for it. Yeah, they found it. I'm surprised someone else didn't grab it before I did. Luckily, not a lot of customers come around here. Interesting. Guess it might not be about the money. No, you had something in your wallet that they wanted. I should correct my previous theory. Mysterious attack. I woke up next to a train station by the circus, missing my clothes and some of my recent memories. Seems like someone whacked me over the head, knocked me out, and took my stuff, but not for my wallet, which had money still inside. What were they trying to do? If they were after your wallet, it was for some information. It was the killer. Let's say this wasn't about money, then why attack me? Maybe they were just trying to embarrass you like a prank? Well, mission accomplished. Can you think of anyone who might have it out for you? Funny, that's usually my line. Right, you are the detective. You should solve this case yourself, right? Perhaps. My enemies are too numerous to count, but I don't think they didn't think they'd leave off this easily. You call this easy? I'm still alive and I have all my limbs, so yes, this is easy by their standards. It's almost likely they were targeting me personally. Maybe they were trying to take some evidence rather than cash. That's what I said. I'm growing more and more curious about this case at the circus. And speaking of circus, there's one thing I wanted to ask you. You work here, right? Yeah, how did you... Well, the gloves and the scars, and at first I thought you had been a lot of knife fights due to me suspecting your assault and theft, but once I realized that wasn't the case, you also said not a lot of customers come around here, which implies you're on the other side of the equation. A massive circus worker with a lot of scars from cuts and slashes. You're an animal trainer, which would explain the belt and the leather, too. Brilliant! Is that what detectives do? Don't give me too much credit considering how wrong my first guess was. Sorry for the whole thing, assuming you were a criminal, thing, by the way. Chalk it up to concussion. Oh, by the way, my name's Rolf. Our circus is called Morgan's Traveling Circus. Hi, Rolf. He's cute. Looks like this won't be the last time I see Rolf. Nice to meet you, Rolf. And you've seen my card. I'm a detective. People usually call me Jones. Your boss must be Moses Morgan, right? Yeah, I guess you heard of him. Well, you could say that. He's my client, actually. He hired a detective? Oh, you're here about Hattie. I believe I am. Oh, wait, what if whoever attacked you is... It's a possibility, but I think I've leapt to enough conclusions today. Right, this is all such a mess. Well, if you're looking for the boss, he's always in his office. It's a small square tin over there by the other side of the train car. But you should probably put on some clothes first. Do you have anything to wear? I'll be fine. I have a motel nearby with some of my luggage. And thank you. I have my wallet back so I can get some clothes for myself if need to. Sounds good. Let me know if you need anything. He's a sweetie, isn't he? He's a sweetheart. He hesitates before quietly making his next offer. I need to go, but you can come talk to me later if you want. You can find me at the Big Top at 1 p.m. or Fair at 2 p.m. I have shows. That wasn't supposed to be under the detective voice. Oops. I'll luckily take you up on that. Thanks for your help. Really appreciate it. I bid Rolf goodbye and turn around. This is going to be a fun walk. What was the address Ruth gave me again? Shroomer Road? Ding! Oh, we're flipping back to the girl. Alright. Moses asked me to find Ailey's backstage. Allie. What did he say again? The small tent behind the big top? Oh, look at this. So there's backstage, there's Allie. Look at this. Okay, we got a stable, the fair, the fortune teller, the office, train car 1, 2, and 3, the big top. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So that's where the guy we just met is gonna be. Rolf? Alright. Let's go. Backstage is actually just a small tent behind the main performance tent. I slip in from the back and pull the curtain. It's not exactly tidy, but they're significantly cleaner than expected. A splash of loud color compete for attention from outlandish costumes to widely fabricated patterns or fabrics. Various fantastical stage props are piled around the small room, making it look like a fairy tale storage facility. I clear my throat. Ahem. Oh, a tiny girl, a young woman, pops out from behind one of the big boards. A string of soft clinking and clattering follow her movements as tools rattle around in her pocket. She eyes me up and down, obviously wondering if I'm supposed to be here, but decides against speaking first. You must be Allie's. She nods once. Mechanic. Great, I'm Jackie. What are you doing here? Okay. No. I thought I had a letter from, what's his name? I don't think that's what I was supposed to do. Maybe I'm Mama's? As I speak, I feel her getting more anxious, taking glances towards the door. She's looking to run. Sorry, this is for circus staff only. You don't have permission to be here. You need to leave. Right, I should probably tell her about my plan with Moses first. The switcheroo. I got that wrong. Mr. Morgan asked me to come here. Here, he wrote this note. That's actually what I was looking for. He said you'll understand. Hand her the note. She scans it quickly, shaves off her disbelief, then purses it again. I'm surprised that the paper isn't bursting into flames from the intensity of her stare. Is everything okay? Huh? Is everything okay? Oh, yes. It's okay, I guess. She stares at the ground in stunned silence. Oh. She must be upset about, let's see. Whoops. I dropped. There we go. She stares at the stone in sudden silence. I just can't believe. What is he thinking? Dressing someone up as her. He didn't even tell us about this. Do you think it's unethical? Do you think it's wrong? That this is unethical? No, no. I mean, I don't know. That word is so big. I just feel like Moses doesn't lie to people unless he has to. He's just that kind of person usually. Well, don't think of it as lying. Think of it as a grand illusion from a magician. Will that make you feel better? That's different. What a magician does is, it's a performance. It's not the same as whatever this is. She huffs, frustrated with herself. Forget it. It doesn't matter now. Moses wants me to help. Oh, Moses wants me to help with the costume. She looks me up and down. I think you'll fit into her old one. I can take some measurements. Sure. I'm still stuck on the awkwardness of the conversation we're having. But once work came up, she forgot all about the discomfort and began moving with purpose. Before I could fully respond, she already rummaged through her little pouch and pulling out tape measures. Can you stand with your back to me? Shelf over there. I need to see how tall you are. She charges forward the corner with the large shelf and clears a place to stand. Yeah, let me just move that eye out of the way. You can stand here on the right side. Back straight, please. Yeah, like that. Put my back to the shelf as she pins one side of the tape measure under the bottom and stretches it to the top of my head. With her short stature, she has to resort to standing on the stairs next to us to read the results. Aww. Looks like you're about 5'8". Hattie was 5'6". Uh-oh. I could have told you that. Not hit my height, I mean. Sorry, I just like taking measurements myself. She snaps the tape back and pulls the soft tailor tape from her pouch, wrapping it around my shoulder and waist. Hold your arms straight to the sides. With the tape measure in her hand, she numbers scribbles on the notebook. She now looks comfortable and self-assured and comforted. She's in her zone. Alright, I'm done. I let out a breath. I've been holding and relaxed my hands. She's jotting something down quickly on the notepad while clearly formulating a plan in her head. I think we can get away with doing a few adjustments on her, on the costume we have her already. So your shoulders are a little wider, but nothing to worry about. A couple of things to give you... I can give you a couple of things to give you some breathing space. What's your shoe size? I'm not sure. How can you not be sure? Aren't measurements in the States different? Right, you're in Europe? She ducks into a pile of stuff on the other side of the room and emerges with a pair of purple high heels. How's this for you? I sit down on the stairs and try squeezing my foot in. My toes are screaming. I feel like one of Cinderella's evil stepsisters. Ouch. Yeah, you probably don't need the heels given your extra height. Let me see. She scans the room and releases a ha when she finds a pair of black high-heel boots from the far corner. I think these were Chip's actually, but he's a short guy. Try them on, let me know if they're too large. I can add insoles and stuff them. I slip them on. Pain-free! Huh, a little better, thank you. But the color, does it go with the costume? Black goes with everything. Wait, I think I have some dress fabric left. I sit there while Ellie works her magic on the dress and the boots. I stare dumbly while she pulls out a pair of scissors from her tool belt and goes to work. The girl has skill. First, she carefully removes the zipper from the back of the dress, hidden under the ruffle, and replaces it with a ribbon lacing to give her more width. Next, she cuts long strips of the purple fabric and delicately wraps them around the boots. Then she pulls out the glue. Noticing me staring, she looks a bit embarrassed. I know, it looks silly, but glue really works in a pinch. Of course, she's right. With just a few touches of glue and fabric adorned, the boot looks like it was always part of the costume. Alright, can you try these on and let me know how they fit? In the blink of an eye, she lays out the dress, the boots, and the pair of gloves, and a top hat on the sofa. Like, here? Where else? We're backstage. Oh, you mean like in front of me? Sorry, we don't have a changing room or anything. I'll look away if you want. I'm just gonna change behind that big cardboard, okay? I duck behind the little cardboard. I have to crouch to fit myself behind it, which is not the easiest position to be on when putting in her dress. Do you, need help? You know, with the lacing or something? She's clearly not keen on helping, but something probably feels compelled to ask out of obligation. No, I'm fine. I'm almost done. With some awkward shuffling, I'm pretty sure I finally got everything on. I'm not sure how I could get out of it without some significant wiggling. Okay, I'm done. Allie scans me up and down. Her eyes are on me, but they are 1,000 miles away. Allie? Yes, everything fits? Everything's fine. Great, actually. That's it then, I think. Do you want to take a look? Oh, she looked at the costume and saw her in it and was probably thinking of the Hattie. She gestures the makeup mirror. I peek. Hmm. Looks good. I hardly recognize myself. Whoa! Looks. I know. Task complete. Put on Hattie's costume. So I'd be keeping this for the big show tonight. Sure. Hattie's costume. Magician setup complete with top hat and gloves. The outfit is pretty modest by circus standards, but the ruffles and colors are rather flattering. I just need to not think too much about the fact that I'm technically wearing a dead person's clothes. Yikes. And that reminds me, we should talk a little about show arrangements. The big show starts at 7 p.m. tonight and goes until 10. Usually the ringmaster does a routine to introduce all the performers up front. But since your appearance is supposed to be a surprise, I think it would be better for you not to do to only do the closing act from 9 to 10. Come back here at 8 p.m. so we can go over some last-minute arrangements. Ah, so we need to be backstage by 8 p.m. So we need to pay attention to that. Everyone will be at the big top watching this show, so you don't need to worry about someone seeing you. What are you planning to do tonight? Do you have anything for props? I'm still trying to figure all that out. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? What does it have to do with the performance? Well, I'm new here and the boss is busy, so he didn't tell me much about everything that's going on. I can't decide on what to do if I don't have the full picture of the circus, and the audience will expect. I don't think that's how it works. Come on, we just need to chat a little like friends. Unless you're busy, I can come back later. No, it's fine. I need to help with something at 11. But I have some time, I guess. Oh, thank you so much, Sherry. You are a sweetheart. What? Is that fridge? Never mind. I don't even want to ask. Oh. What did you want to talk about? Time doesn't wait for anybody. In one time block, you only have a limited number of chances to take action. AP, okay, that's what the AP points are. This is measured by AP points to see how many are remaining at the top. Performing actions such as using the collection to inquire or contradict will cost AP, so think strategically about what you want to spend your AP on. The time block will end automatically when you run out of AP, so don't forget to keep an eye on them. Okay, so... what do we do? Maybe ask her about Hattie. Let's ask her about Hattie. So what was Hattie like? I figured since I'm going to be here, I'd better know a bit more about her, right? She closes her eyes and turns away, hand still clutching a strap on her bag. I don't know what to say. Come on, you've worked together for years, and judging from your early reaction, I wager you care a great deal about her, right? No, yes, I mean, we're colleagues. Everyone here cared about her. She finally looks back at me in the eyes. No one could have ever imagined something like this happen to her. Almost as if she's afraid of what's going to... I was going to open my mouth and ask more. She moves to the next topic. Sorry. So, Hattie, she was a really good magician. Wish you could have seen her perform. The crowds loved her. She was a true star. That's why they're mad she isn't here. Well, that's what I'm here for. Her eyes snap up and she bites her lips, suddenly looking infuriated. No, you are not listening. You don't understand. Hattie was irreplaceable. You can't just take her place, not with the dress or the hat or what else. Whoa, whoa. That's going a bit too far, don't you think? What would Hattie say to that? She lowers her eyes, but her eyes remain fiery and stubborn. She really loved her. She would have agreed. You sure about that? Her teeth clench. You don't know Hattie. You can't do her tricks. You are only here because she's gone. So she thinks I am truly trying to replace her. I knew Hattie, actually. Huh? I knew Hattie before all of this. But I've never heard her mention... It's not important, though. You're right. I can never be Hattie. I'm not her. Sorry, it's not... I don't mean anything against you. I'm just having a hard time with... I just don't think anyone can take her place. Or that anyone should. Irreplaceable. At least as Heidi's position as the star magician of Morgan's traveling circus is irreplaceable, and that she doesn't think anyone can or should take her place. She insists that Hattie should have agreed with her. That Hattie would have agreed with her. She shakes her head. Never mind. It's silly. Sorry if I don't mean to offend you. No, I apologize. I overreacted. Aww. So let's see. I wonder, since she's so close to Hattie, I wonder what she would say about... Hmm. About the letter. Let's do this. Let's see her reaction. No, this would reveal everything to the potential killer. Oh, yeah. They're suspects for now. I need a little more to showing. Okay. The Mind Reading Act. I wonder if she would allow that. I want to know what I do. You want to know what I do? Sure. I do your usual stuff, rabbits out of the hat, card tricks, escape tricks, all sorts of things. But my specialty is in mind reading. She pauses, then gives me a slow smile. A telepath? In the flesh? No, you're not. She says it with almost out of reflex, and she seems to be embarrassed by her frankness. Sorry, I don't believe in that stuff. Of course. You're the mechanic, right? You must have been part of plenty of magic tricks. I imagine once you know how it's done, it'll never feel magical again. Actually, I think it only gets more magical. Magical on the stage, probably. The majority of the audience knows it's not real magic. The kind you do with a wand or a spell, but they still get so drawn into it. It's almost like, for the few hours of the performance, we all enter into a world, this bubble together, and look at everything as if it were magic. For a moment, we all choose to forget about what is possible and choose to believe in the extraordinary. Aww. And in that moment, magic is real. As real as the tent and the popcorn. Maybe even more real. Wow. That was beautiful. I'm sorry for being cynical. Hey, maybe you'll make a better magician than me. She gives me an indecipherable look and shakes her head. Wonder if I should ask about Hattie's costume. Yeah. This is a great costume. Did you make it for her? Yeah. I mean, it's just a dress. True, but a magician's dress. Not. A lot of people could have done that before. Of course. They were all men. Was it your idea to wear the top hat with the dress? Nah, that was all Hattie. All the old school magicians wore suits and top hats and gentlemen's stuff, you know. So when she started out, she wore what ladies wore, fancy evening dresses and like that. But those were a bother to move around in, and we had quite a bit of trouble taking care of them. Turns out, cramped train compartments are not the best place to store gowns. So she said she wanted to try something more modern. The hourglass silhouette with the fashion, so we went with a little shoulder padding and a pencil skirt. I was worried it wouldn't look like a magician's outfit. You won't want to dress alone and scream magician, right? Seems like a reasonable concern. No, you know what she said? She said that no one would look at a woman's dress and think magician anyway, so what she wore didn't matter. She had a point. She said, I don't need them to look at my dress and say magician. When I'm done with the performance, they'll look at me and say, that's a magician. Ah. So she's not wanting the clothes. Hattie didn't want the clothes to make the woman. She wanted the woman to make the clothes. It was just an accessory. I like it. Wow. I know. And that's when she became ringmaster too. So she told me to skip the other stuff. She just wear the hat and the dress. Sounds like she had a lot of her own ideas. Yeah, that was Hattie. Always asking or thinking of something new. Always looking for new angles. She bows her head. Take care of the costume, okay? Aww. That's so cool. What about the situation in the circus, maybe? Let's see if she knows anybody like on edge or something. So the whole Hattie situation seems to be the talk of the town. I know, it's been crazy. So, if you don't mind me asking, how's this been affecting the business? Are the people really returning their tickets? I don't know, it's not for me to worry about. But the whole thing just feels so wrong. I remember a time when the circus coming to town would be front page news. People would drive for hours and contract boats just to come see the performance. Kids would try to sneak in and do all kinds of odd jobs for them to see a free ticket. And then we go to the acrobats and the animals. If you run to the front row and reach your hand out, you could touch the horses and elephants. It was magical. But it seems like people are just less impressed with that. What we do nowadays, you know? It seems like they're expecting people to be shot out of cannons and birds that will turn into snakes or something. More the extremes. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too cynical. It just seems like they really don't understand what the circus is about. I don't really know about the number stuff, but the boss doesn't seem to be too worried about it, so I guess that's fine. Nah, he's just putting on a front. I don't really care if it makes a ton of money, or just enough. As long as we can keep it going, I'll be here. Aw, she's so dedicated. But that's the end of that turn. She looks away for a few seconds. A silence hangs between us. I can tell she's getting a bit tired with these questions. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep you. Did you say you had something to do? She takes a discreet sigh of relief and replies with more spirit. Look, this has been... I hope I helped, but I really need to go. There's a puppet performance at the fair for the first hour. I need to go find Echo and check if the calliope's working. I should be done in an hour or so, so if you have any other questions or anything you need, come back and find me. Alright, thanks for everything. Are we switching? We are! Okay. So did the detective get his clothes? Make my way to the hotel, trying my best not to draw attention to my attire. Luckily, it's a quick walk, and I think everyone is too enthralled by the circus to pay too much attention to a homeless-looking guy. The people in the motel recognize me. I tell them my key was stolen, so they provide me with a replacement, after a small service fee, of course. With all the trouble and the humiliation and the physical peril, this job better pay like Rockefeller himself hired me. I open the door to my room. Everything seems undisturbed. I put on a change of clothes and look around the room. Good detective work is observation. When you see a magnifying glass icon on the left, it means you can enter investigate mode. It'll cost you one action point to enter investigate mode, but once you start investigating, you can move your mouse around and look at everything in the scene. Okay. All notable items will be highlighted. When your mouse hovers over them, click on the item to get a detailed description. Sometimes, if something is particularly noteworthy, it might be added to the collection. When you're done, exit the investigation mode. Okay. So, let's hit up investigation mode. So they had our key. So I'm a little worried about that. What's this? What's this? Some sort of flyer? I pick it up for a closer look. Oh, there she is. That's Hattie. It's a flyer for the circus. Morgan's Traveling Circus. That's the one. Here's an elephant, dancing horses, acrobat, juggler, and a dark-haired woman in a purple ruffled dress holding a top hat front and center. The text in the front proclaims, performance every night by, with a flower's signature, the amazing Hattie. I think that's our missing person. Okay. What's this? Finally, I never thought I'd miss the feeling of clothes against my skin so much. Most of my belongings are still laying neatly in the suitcase. I don't remember what I packed. It looks like a few days worth of clothes and some of my tools, ropes, handcuffs, binoculars, stuff like that. Don't think I'll need them for this case. I don't know about that. Let's see. What's this? A map of the local area and a phone book. Looks like I was doing a little research when I got here. There's my jacket. My trusty trench coat. I'll put it on before I leave. It's good for a cold or rainy day. It's breathable and light and blends in very easily with the crowd. And perhaps most important of all, it looks great on me. And people wonder why my wardrobe is so full of them. Alright. A generic hotel nightstand. The first thing I checked when I arrived are the drawers. They are all empty. The ashtray is conspicuously empty too. Either they already cleaned it out, which would make them the motel with the best service in the continent, or I didn't have time to enjoy a cigarette when I got in. My trusty trench coat, I'll put. Oops. I didn't know I was still clicked over there. Okay, so I think we may have everything in here so far. So it looks like nothing might have been taken. Interesting. Alright. I think I got everything I need. It's time to meet the client. Are we done here? You see the map on the left side? It means you could choose find another location. Simply click on it. Okay, so that's how we move. In the future, you'll be able to choose which locations you want to go to at the beginning of every turn. This does not cost action points. However, if you wish to move from location to location in the middle of the turn, you'll have to use AP. Gotcha. So it's better to be where you want to be in the beginning. Okay, so we need to go to the office. Let's go. Come in. I can't be sure if I already talked to him. Let him make the first move. What business you got here, Mr. Ah, so he doesn't know me. That's good, but also odd. If I didn't come here to meet him, why was I here? If there's someone else that I was supposed to meet. Wow. Wait. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Hmm. Maybe the mysterious attack in the secret? Or... in the flare? No. Hmm. No, I know it wasn't him. Hmm. So, when he talked to the girl too, he didn't know who I was. This one's a little confusing to me. He doesn't know who I am, so clearly I was attacked before them, but who was I supposed to meet? I don't know the contradiction here yet. I'm trying to think, but... Oops. No, it's not him. We don't have a letter or anything, so how would we know? Circuit's got secrets, man. And I know I'm going through each one of these, I cannot think of what it would be. Alright. A mysterious attack. How about me? Well, I should ask you. After all, it was you who called us, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Jones? From San Francisco? Yes. I understand I'm here to investigate the disappearance of your magician. Well, not quite. You see, there were a few details I didn't want to mention over the phone. I was hoping to let you know in private when you got here. To be honest, I was expecting you a little early. The situation has evolved since the last call. I apologize, there was an incident. Regardless, what do you mean by not quite? Do you know where she is? He sighs. I trust that there's no need to say this conversation must remain strictly confidential? Yes, of course. Well, there's no easy way to put this. Hattie's not gone missing, she's dead. That's certainly one rather significant detail to admit. Sorry, but I hope you would understand. We don't really have another choice. The circus isn't ready to handle the consequences of that announcement, particularly when we still don't even know the killer or the motive. You're sure it's murder? Yeah, she was found with a knife in her chest. Damn. But what happened? Can you walk me through what happened? From the beginning. When did the murder take place? We arrived in Thule this Monday before sunrise. It took most of the day to set up, so I gave everyone the rest of the day off. I made a trip into town, as I had some business to deal with at the bank and had a few investors to meet with. It was like hell that afternoon, and the road got muddy. By the time I came back, it was almost 9 p.m., and everyone was waiting for me. That is when they told me that Hattie was dead. One of our performants, Echo, found Hattie in the storage room. Her pulse had already gone by then. Did they call the police? I called them later that night. Wait, someone had been killed, but they waited until you were back to contact the authorities? Mr. Jones, I know it might seem strange, but you have to understand, in the circus we are very guarded people. Most of us haven't had the pleasure of interacting with law enforcement. Yeah, I can understand that. Usually we try to resolve our issues internally, but this is not a simple fight or theft. This is far beyond what any of us are accustomed to. I... We were all in shock. So, I insisted on calling them. I understand, but then why hire a private investigator if the police are on it? He paused, pressing his lips together. I can almost see the amount of force needed to unclench his jaw in response. I called them Monday night. They showed up here the next day. They claimed the body, took some photos, and asked everyone a few questions. I haven't heard from them since. Not a single update, so they're not taking it seriously, probably because they are carnies, I hate to say. I called them yesterday to ask if I could have a copy of the autopsy report. They stonewalled me. Do you know why they were ignoring this case? Corruption, laziness, prejudice, take your pick. Frankly, I don't much care about the reasoning. In my business, you learn very quickly that you can't buy respect from those who have none. Creative solutions, though, those are always for sale. And that's where I come in. And that's where you come in. So you still don't have an autopsy report. That's probably why I was looking for information and such. Is to find out about the police and everything yet. Oh, but I didn't really know anything yet. I can call them again, but at this point, I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for it. That means you don't have a clear time of death. I believe the last time everyone saw her was around 5 p.m. A few of my workers saw her coming out of her trailer. No one knew where she was afterwards until Echo found her at 7 p.m. And we can be sure that time frame is reliable? Yeah. Both can be collaborated by others. You said it was raining that afternoon, correct? Do you remember when the rain started and stopped? It didn't start until I got out of town, so about 4? And it was already ended by the time I got back. And how was the weather these past few days? Not a drop since. Good, that gives me a pretty solid window. I can ask around, see what everyone's doing during that time period. Yep. So it's between 4 and 9. 5 and 7, they say. Yeah, that's right, because he found the body at 7. It was raining heavily between 4 and 9, or 4 and 9, but the weather had been sunny since. Ask the rest of the crew if they were doing at that time. Looking for an alibi, right? It probably won't lead to an arrest, but it should eliminate a few suspects. Good to know. Collect alibis. Alright. Alright. Let's about the victim. Did Hattie have any enemies? Anyone getting into any fights recently? Hard to imagine anybody wanting to kill her. We were a close-knit group. We've been performing together every night for some time now. It's difficult to envision anyone ever killing anybody else. But the other magician did say that she received a letter from Hattie that something was going on, and somebody probably was trying to get rid of her to take her place. But I wonder if that's true or just a big speculation in the wrong direction. What about someone outside the circus? We toured the country. Never stay in one place for too long. It's extremely unlikely that my crew have any entanglements with anyone in town. So which way would you lean? Outside or fellow performer? I don't know what to think, Mr. Jones. It's okay if you don't want to give me an answer. Or, no, I understand. That's understandable. He doesn't want to say anything against his people. It's hard to think that such a close-knit family would do something. I'm thinking over everything. Do I know my people as well as I do? What could I have missed? Why her? Why now? Is something going on in my circus that I don't know about? Yeah, the letter. Look, detective, I'm not a foolish man. That I'm sure of. You can't get anywhere I am, being who I am, without a certain level of instinct and intellect. I pride myself in knowing things, and that usually gives me the advantage in business. How many train cars do we need to carry the equipment? How many more stops can we make before winter? How many tickets do we need to sell to keep the business running? I know the answer to all these questions like the back of my hand, as I should. But only a foolish man would make judgments on what they don't know, and I know. I can't trust my perspective on this. That's okay. That's what I'm here for. Look, rationally, I know the person who did it was here before the show even opened. Probably had a personal grudge and had access to storage areas. All signs of someone in your crew. Yeah. If I feel like I know where you're going to ask. Hypothetically, what would you say the killer's motives would be? I'm afraid I'm not the best person to ask. It's your circus. Generally, I try to refrain from intervening too much in their interpersonal relationships. I'm afraid my meddling could do more harm than good. The performers would surely be able to tell you more about this than I ever could. However, whether they will be entirely forthcoming with you is another matter. Well, that's for me to worry about. You just need to tell me who I need to talk to. You want to talk to the other performers in our mechanic alleys. They are the ones that knew her the best. Oh, and there's one more person you should be aware of. I'm sure you're aware of what's going on in the newspapers. I'm not, but I nodded to let him proceed. We can't announce the death yet, for obvious reasons, but we're under a lot of pressure. The show must go on, as the saying goes. So, I had an idea. Uh-oh. It's never good when they have ideas. So what sort of idea are you talking about? I hired someone to pretend to be Hattie until we get the case figured out. Are you telling me there's a fake version of the murder victim walking around? Well, I told her to keep a low profile, so you probably won't even see her around. How nice of you to remember to inform me about that. Wouldn't want to think I saw a ghost. I just thought you'd be aware. Should be aware. And just where are you managing to find this replacement? Could this person have anything to do with the case? I looked into it, and no, she ain't anywhere near the circus at the time. That much I'm sure of. So he didn't say that she came. He didn't tell the whole truth. That the magician to replace Hattie, well, to doppelgang Hattie, um, came in because Hattie was given a letter. He didn't tell that. That's questionable. He's saying this is all his idea. I'm not liking that part. About the crime scene. Where did the murder take place? Can I see the crime scene? Well, about that. There's no actually crime scene anymore. Excuse me? What does that even mean? Well, the day it happened, we were busy setting up for the circus. Most tents weren't even set up yet. The only one we had up was a small temporary tent for short-term storage. And that was the crime scene. Yes, we had to take it down because the circus had to open. So we have nothing. The police did take photos of the scene. Here's a copy. Oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting that. That's a lot of raspberry juice. Final scenes of interest? Yeah. That's interesting, because the reflection's not showing anything. But it does look like it happened here, because of the splatter. What is that? What is that board? That's the act we do. It was Andy's signature performance, the knife throwing act. Someone would be tied to a board and she'd throw knives at the board without targeting her partner. The crowds love it. Could this have been practice gone wrong? There's just one problem with that. Hattie's the one throwing the knives, not the one being tied up. It doesn't make sense why'd she be the one there. Is anyone else in your circus trained as a knife thrower? As far as I know, the only one who could do this, or was, Hattie. But obviously, she couldn't have done this to herself. Obviously. If you have questions about the act, you should ask Anden about it. She's our fire performer. She was also the one Hattie strapped to the board for the performance. Must take an incredible amount of trust for her to be tied to there while someone was throwing knives at her. They were very close. Okay. Alright. Looks like I need to find this Adeline. What's that mirror doing here? It's the storage rooms. Probably placed it there when they were moving everything from the train. So it's not intentional? I don't believe so. Although what? Sometimes I've seen performers use it to practice for their performances. I've heard it's helpful to observe your form. And the mirror is in the exact right position for someone facing Hattie to be looking at her own reflection. Did somebody try to do the knife throwing act? Or was Hattie supposed to be training somebody? Ooh. Is there really a coincidence? Is the place for practice or some kind of twisted enjoyment? There's no way to know yet. Or was the killer trying to picture themselves as her? Here's the other thing. She's not wearing the costume. Was the person wearing the costume? I don't know. Okay, I think that's everything for now. Oh no, this. Were there any fingerprints on the handle? I asked that too, but no, they couldn't find any fingerprints. So gloved. So the killer was either wearing gloves or wiped it clean. How about the knife? Do you recognize it? It's circus equipment. It's one of our custom-made throwing knives. I don't know much about the details except that they were extremely sharp and well balanced for throwing. I do know that it's it still takes incredible skill to hit your target with enough force and accuracy for it to stick. There might be one thing you're missing. What's that? The murder weapon is a throwing knife, but it doesn't mean the killer actually threw it. No one witnessed the act, for all we know. They might have just tried. They might have just tied her to the board and stabbed her through the chest. Right. Maybe that's the point. A nice piece of misdirection from the killer, perhaps. But here's a question. It had to be somebody that she really trusted and maybe didn't suspect, because to openly get tied to a board and restrained, or maybe she was knocked out, but it looks like she was awake during it because her eyes and everything are open. Or maybe there's something more to knife throwing. A symbolic reason? I'm not sure yet. Her hair's a little messy, but the room and her clothing look pretty tidy. There's no struggle. Was there bleeding from the wrists where they were bound to the ropes? I don't think so. And were there any visible wounds other than the knife? Nothing visible, clearly visible, no. No trauma on the head or neck? No. That means she was on the board willingly, then. What are you thinking? Well, if there's no sign of struggle in the scene, if she tried to fight back, it would have at least messed up the room and her clothes a bit. If the killer was holding the knife when they fought, she would have defensive wounds on her hands. So either she was unconscious, or she agreed to be bound. I initially thought that someone could have attacked her from the back, but that doesn't appear to be the case. I resist the urge to reach for the back of my own head. Different MO, then. Alright, I think that's all I have about the photo. Okay, then, you keep the photo. I just have one question. What? Please, don't show it to people unless it's for a good reason. She was a friend after all, and I hope to spare as many of them seeing her like that. But at least one of them has seen the crime scene, right? The person who discovered her? How long after the initial discovery was the photo taken? The photo was taken by the police after they arrived, which was quite late. The day after the body was discovered, in fact. I can't understand. I can't trust that nothing was disturbed between the discovery and the taking of the photo. At least let me show it to the people who saw the initial crime scene. Fair enough. Echo, or Puppeteer, was the one who discovered Hattie's body. You can ask him if there's anything different in the photo. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's all. Alright, I think I'm all caught up. How long do I have to solve this case? We leave tonight. What? Tonight? Yeah. We're on a schedule to stay here for a week. Hattie was found dead on Monday, and I called you Wednesday. Today's our last day. But, don't you still have a show tonight? We have a show every night. How can you pack up all this in one night? You haven't seen a circus performance, have you? You walk right into the tent at 7, and by the time you walk out, everything but the big top will be gone. Disappear. Some people compare it to magic. So, can't you stay a little longer? Until this case is resolved? Believe me, if it was possible, I would. But we're a circus. All our performers are scheduled months ago. We've already set advanced people to put out posters declaring performance dates at the next stop, and the stop after that, we can't really afford to get delayed. Oh, wow. Sorry, never thought about that much, about how these things are supposed to work. Much like our performers, the business walks on a tightrope of schedules and timing. Everything has to go according to plan, or it'll cause a chain reaction of everything falling out of order. The big show starts at 7 and ends before 10. The train will start leaving in in section, with the last one departing less than 2 hours after the show ends. So you're telling me any witnesses or evidence I could possibly have will all be gone before midnight? That's right. It's like Cinderella, but instead of a princess, I'm chasing a murderer. Well, when you put it that way. Wow. Shoot. Oh, wow. This is gonna be rough. Well, it seems like time is short. Whoops. That was wrong. I'll need anything and everything you can give me about the case. I will also need to talk to some of your people. Of course, whatever you need. I think that again was flipped. And if they ever manage to send over that autopsy report, I'll let you know as soon as possible. I'll give everyone the heads up about you being here and can talk to everyone on staff. But it is a show day, so they might have responsibilities that keep them busy at times. Sorry about that. Oh, and there's one more thing. What else? Well, this is a circus, and where certain trade secrets have to be protected. What does you mean? It means that there are certain areas only available to members of the circus, and I prefer it stay that way. You hired a detective, yet you still want to keep all your secrets? Not all of them. Only the stable and backstage areas are off limits. And don't go barging into people's private rooms on the train without permission. They tend to be very territorial. Okay, so stable and backstage are off limits, but it's not to the other person. I'm beginning to think you don't ever want to solve this crime. Look, Mr. Jones, I've been completely honest with you up to this point. That's not true. Despite this hesitancy, I will also give you one more hard truth now. Hattie is dead, and there's nothing I can do to change that, including catching who did it. Tensions are running high, and the best thing I can do is keep things running as usual and maintain a sense of normalcy for my people. I've been through enough goodbyes to know that change is the last thing that folks want at this moment. So, yes, of course, I care about solving the case. I wouldn't have called you here otherwise. But I do. But do I care about it more than keeping the circus running and keeping everyone from falling apart? No. Well, you're the client. I'll work with your restrictions. Can't guarantee how much they'll impede the work, though. That's all I ask for. I know the conditions are difficult. Just do your best. I always do. Damn. Wait, when was that puppet show? I'm trying to remember when that puppet show was. Oh, we're back to the girl. I think the puppet show's right now. Who's this? There's the stable guy. And there's the fortune teller. Who do I go see? I don't know who any of these people are. I kind of want to see this person. Ellie's apologies as she scurries out of the tent, carrying a bag of supplies and tools. I decide to sit back here for a while and get acquainted with the stage tools. I'm making a mental list of all the sparkly scarves and feather boas and wigs, constructing outrageous outfits in my mind. Heya! That's when somebody pops up directly behind me. I jump. Whoa! Watch out there. If you jump any higher, you're gonna poke a hole through the roof. I turn around to see a young man dressed in flamboyant harem pants and a red and blue bib. Is this some kind of clown outfit? Ah. He gives me a cheery smile and nods his head, his curls bopping under the tall hat. If anything is gonna poke a hole through the roof, it's that hat. He laughs. Ha! Nice to meet you, madam. I'm Chip the Clown, and you must be our new colleague. Or maybe an old colleague, depending on how you see it. He gives me an exasperated wink that must have strained his eye muscle. You look great in that dress. Hattie would be impressed. Call me Jackie, please. You like my hat? The kids love it, too. Reminds me of a dunce cap now. It's certainly unique. It's certainly unique. Remember, they said we need to be kind of kind to them. I've never seen a hat like that before. Well, thank you. It's pretty nice. Do you want one? I might have a spare one lying around somewhere. No, thanks. I don't think it's my style. Don't be too hard on yourself. Not everyone can pull this off. That's true. So, tell me, have you replaced Allie? Have you replaced Allie? Where did she go? You just missed her, actually. Did you need her for something? She said something about helping with the puppet performance. Oh, she's with that one then. Never mind, I'll just spend some time with you. Have you had the grand introduction of the circus yet? Who? Moses asked me to avoid crowds considering the situation, so no, not yet. Oh, you're missing out on the fun and the big top in the fair. That's so sad. I'm sure we'll get to see I'll get to see the audience when I perform tonight. That's not the same though. I'm gonna give you a grand tour of the circus. Oh, this guy is in character and I'm not liking it. The secret back doors, the inside trivia. There's a little stain on one of our flags around the big top. From time to time, we got Rolf drunk, and he threw up on the fabric. You'll know it when you see it. If that's all the insider trivia sounds like, I think I'm better off not hearing it. You can give me a tour of the place. It's not as fun with the whole thing, but I'll take it. Alright, if you follow me. He gives me a sarcastic little bow and then points to the corner. Welcome to backstage of Morgan's traveling circus. It is not where the magicians happen, it's a circus. Magic happens, it's a circus. The magic happens on the stage, but this is where the magic waits and lies, and gets its makeup done. He points towards the boards and changed my clothing behind. Oh, there we have Mr. 3 of Spades and Miss 5 of Hearts. Careful, they are made out of cardboard. They're cardboard card boards, get it? Nope. Don't say anything to encourage him. He grunts and points at the wig-wearing mannequin head on the shelf. Here we have our esteemed guest, Miss Daisy Fay. Wearing ridiculous wigs and hats as always. Oops, she didn't like me saying that. Very tasteful hats they are. Actually, you know what? Hold that minute. Hold that a thought. For a second. He didn't wait for my reply. He takes off his ridiculous hat and shoves it at me, and then he dashes to the shelf and puts on Miss Fay's magenta monstrosity with feathers and pearls. As quick as he left, he's back in front of the mirror, twisting his neck around to evaluate the angles. Yep, tasteful. I think it calls for some matching accessories, though. He then pulls out feather bows on the most objectable shades of green and purple I have ever seen and wraps them around his own neck. Somehow, still not satisfied with the outfit, he scans the room and grabs a wooden mallet from the corner, swinging it around as if he was Knight of the Round Table. Well, we have Mr. Hammer right here. He's tons useless. You see, he used to come with a high striker machine, but someone broke it beyond repair, and now we just get lonely little Hammer lying around. Sounds like quite the cast of characters. You know what? I kinda like this getup. Maybe I should build a new routine around it. Chip the Handyman. Nah, too plain. Who else uses hammers? How about Chip the Demolition Man? I've never seen a Demolition Man dressed like that. Well, that'd be the part of the routine. A Demolition Man who likes feathers and hats, but he keeps accidentally destroying them with a hammer. Oh boy. God. But, it just needs some work. Anyway, that concludes our tour. Thanks, it's been fun. He takes off the hats and bows and piles them on the couch. I hand the hat back to him and he puts back on with a grin. So, you met everyone yet? I've met Allie and the boss, obviously, but they're kind of busy. Oh, you've plenty more to go then. You'll need to talk to the sisters and Rolf and... Well, I'll let them introduce themselves. But if you ever want to hear any gossip, you know who to ask. You. Oh, he's a gossip. Okay. What do we do? Let's ask him about Hattie. What was Hattie like? Hattie was just Hattie. I don't know how to tell you. Hattie's just Hattie. She's always smart and perfect like that. Then why would anyone want to do that to her? Take it from me, it's not easy being beautiful and brilliant. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, right? He makes an exaggerated gesture of look at me up and down and winks. Flattery will get you nowhere. Hey, no flattery here, just truthful observation. You were saying? Alright, you don't like compliments, fine. From this point forward, I will refrain from making compliments about your looks and your intelligence, even though both are outstanding. Well, it turns out people don't always like it when someone else has those qualities. What do you mean? Do you want to hear a story? Sure. Close your eyes and imagine. It's 7 years ago, and you've been studying with this master magician for 3 years. But then, suddenly, he accepts another student, a woman, most unheard of in the industry. She's younger than you and brighter. Oh, he knows my story. We did study under the same master. Anything that takes you a week or a month to learn, she masters in a few days. Just a few months later, she's already teaching all her tricks that he didn't teach you. He's already teaching her all the tricks that he didn't teach you. And this keeps happening, so much so that you lose confidence in magic tricks and decide to move to another discipline altogether. 3 years of training down the drain, and now you have to play with puppets. Oh, the puppeteer. Oh, the puppeteer. Okay. So the puppeteer has the same master I did, and Hattie. Oh. So you finish training again and start working, and you finally manage to find your own place in the circus. But then she shows up following you like a leech. And now she's heading every show, getting applause for the tricks that you were taught first, while you remain a pathetic puppeteer in the shadows. It's like that happened 7 years ago, all over again. Well, imagine how that must feel. Why did you just tell me that story? Are you accusing someone, the puppeteer, of something? Ah, I forgot our circus also has a puppeteer. What a coincidence! His name is Echo, by the way. Oh my gosh, everybody keeps pointing on Echo. Is it that predictable? Or is the killer trying to use their story and jealousy to hide themselves? According to Chip, Echo has always been jealous of Hattie's talent. He claims that 7 years ago, Echo was forced to abandon his role as apprentice magician after 3 years, and he is outshone by Hattie, who had just started her apprenticeship under the same magician, in which I believe I learned under that same magician as well. Are you accusing Echo of murder? No. We're just gossiping, aren't we? I was just telling a story. What are you gonna do? Report it to the police? I'm sure they don't care about this case. That's true. Besides, I'm willing to bet my head of hair that little Pinocchio has a worse tale about me. Let's take a look here. A big eye painted on the board with a kaleidoscope, iris orange, staring into space. I can't imagine a show necessitates props like this. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night and coming face to face with this. If Allie slept on the sofa over there, it must happen regularly. A tall wooden shelf stands upright in the end of the room. On the left, there is some sort of flamboyant costume accessory that you should possibly think of, from wigs to glittery heels to feather bows and hats. The right side is stuffed full of glitzy bold pattern fabrics. Several more taro boards stand behind the shelf. A couple of paintings like giant poker cards, and I see one resembles more of an ornate clock. Somehow these decorations give me a sense of fairy tale wonder more than a dreamy things in the tent. These props feels like a set of a school stage production, like a mother making up stories for her child's bedside. Perhaps a bit shabby and amateur, but real and sincere. Isn't that what she said? Like having a bubble where we all choose to believe the impossible? That's true, she did. Makeup desk with mirrors and flickering light bulbs surrounding them. The lights seem to be hooked up to a finicky source of electricity that glow and dim rhythmically, almost giving off a hypnotic quality. There are tiny black and white pictures glued to the mirrors. Reference photos? I take a peek at the makeup box on the table. There must be 100 different brushes in here. I wonder how they'll tell which is which. Look at these costumes. Portable clothes rack crammed with colorful costumes and cerulean carsons. Wow, that's a lot of C's. Whoops. Damn it, I keep accidentally clicking the same thing. There's alcohol in here. In the corner of the room, a short coffee table with books, ashtray, and a couple of bottles of whiskey. Probably where performers sit to fill the time while they're waiting for their turn on the stage. Take a shot before your act to calm the nerves, huh? I wonder if that's actually what they do. Could easily end in disaster for lightweights. There's the hammer. A comically shaped red and gold wooden mallet with a long handle. This doesn't seem like it's here for practical use, perhaps a stage prop. I reach for the handle to get a sense of its weight. For the stage props, it's not as light as I expected. It's not incredibly heavy. A child would probably lift if they could. Oops. Okay. I think that's all we're gonna get from this. So let's go back to questioning him. Irreplaceable. Let's ask if you think she's irreplaceable. Or should I ask about the switcheroo? I only have 3. Yeah. Let's ask about irreplaceable. Do you think Hattie was irreplaceable? Irreplaceable? Strange word. If you don't mind, where did that question come from? Oh! You're replacing her right now. Kind of. Well, Hattie was pretty good at her job, and she was a pretty nice pull with the audience, but that doesn't mean you need to be worried, honey. He gives me an unsought wink. God, he's playing too much. I don't know if anyone is irreplaceable in the circus, besides Moses, of course. And yours truly, I'm sure the circus would have nothing without my exceptional talent and charm. What about... I wonder if I should talk to him about the situation in the circus. Yeah. And then I'll probably do the mind reading act. So, I hear there's a bit of trouble with the press and the customers. He dismisses the question with a casual wave of his head. It's nothing. It doesn't bother you? Nah, the press people are nothing but a bunch of sharks. I've dealt with it since... Since I started working in the circus. They love stories like this, you know. Oh, so he's got ties to the press, but maybe not in a good way. It's almost as if he was gonna say something else. Where else could he have been dealing with newspapers? That doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe he was a newsie? Or maybe he was trying to be a reporter? Or did he get in trouble and have problems with them? I wonder. Anyway, don't worry about us. We're used to handling stuff like this. Well, not like this in the sense that somebody died, but you know what I mean. In fact, circus performers are always stressed. Do you know why? Are you asking me? Because our jobs are intense. Oh, intense. Yeah. Intense, intense. Get it? Yeah, I got it. That lightened the mood, didn't it? Nah, it just made me kind of cringe. Not at all. Okay. So let's take a look at this mind reading act. So I have a mind reading act. Really? That's cool. I always wanted to talk to a mind reader. Here's a question for you. Hmm? Yeah? Hmm? Hmm? Very funny. So? The answer is you don't really have a question in your mind. You just wanted to use that joke. Whoa, maybe you are a mind reader. He makes me wonder because he is in character day and night. In front of everybody. I feel like this is a character. That's... Ooh, that's gonna be a little issue. Alright, I think that's enough chit-chat for now. Okay, sorry for taking your time. No, we're just having the next important item on our tour today. Although we've seen everything here. Well, this one isn't in here. Come with me. But, do you trust me? Not at all. Cold, but fair. But, trust me on this one. You can't say you're a part of the circus without having seen the Calliope in action. But won't there be a lot of people? Don't worry. We'll get in before the music starts. Once people start making their way here, we'll be long gone. Deal? You better not blow my cover. Pinky promise. This is gonna be better than 1,000 church organs combined. Oh, I do not like this guy. Fine, where? Before I manage to get the rest of my question out, he's already at the door. Are we going? So are we switching? Yep. I like that card shuffle. Oh. So there's the girl. This guy I'm interested in. There's the fortune teller. This guy I'm interested in because everybody keeps bringing him up, but I now that we know what we know with the other girl. Ooh. Interesting. Let's go here with him. Calliope performance at 12 p.m. every day. Oh, that's why. A short walk away from the big top is the area for the fair. Various snacks, stands, toys, vendors, and games from the little circus on the field. A small crowd is gathered in the middle, clearly enraptured by the performance. I make my way through to get a peek at what they're watching. There he is. This is supposedly the prime suspect that people keep pointing out. But I don't know, isn't that just so obvious? Sometimes the obvious is correct, sometimes it's not. In front of the crowd stands a gaunt man with long hair and tired eyes. His skin color reminds me of a vampire. Despair. Despite the vampire's otherwise disinterested expression, children are gathered around watching the puppet on his hand. This red-haired, aristocratic puppet, he's doing a cheery dance. Its movements and gestures are animated, waving at the audience, covering its mouth in laughter, taking a bow. Even the puppet just heaving after the dance. As the crowd cheers, I take another glance at the puppeteer whose face remains blank, a peculiar contrast to the toy in his hand. That's all, that's all. Thank you. We're going to take a short break. Before you go, I am obliged to inform you that there is a calliope performance scheduled at the end of the hour. So, if you somehow manage to miss the giant calliope, now you know. I realize the puppeteer's mouth is firmly shut, only the puppet's jaw moved. Ventriloquism. I get why some people find it creepy. It's an interesting art, that's for sure. As the crowd gradually dissipates to the various vendors, I end up alone with the puppeteer. Do you have a minute? And you are? I just wanted to ask you about... The puppeteer turns to leave. Wait, I'm here to ask you... I don't take questions from crazy strangers. Oh, sorry. I'm Jones. Detective Jones. Moses said I can ask everyone a few questions. You can. Not sure if you should. And your name is? Echo. The performance was over, but even as we speak, Echo's own lips never move. I'm not sure if I should look at him or the puppet. Your talking style. Sorry, do you always talk like this? Like what? I mean, do you always talk through this thing? I gesture towards the puppet and glance at the puppeteer whose face gives away nothing. I wish I had that good of a poker face. I'd never lose so much money playing poker with Mom and Ruth. How do you know that it's me talking through this thing and not the thing talking through me? What? Echo gestures to the puppet. Maybe I'm borrowing its mouth. And then the puppet gestures towards Echo. Or actually, I am Echo, and I'm just borrowing this flesh operator voice. Okay, that kind of gives me an existential crisis. I've heard that story before. Does the puppet use the person, or does the person use the puppet? I've heard that before. I think existing is what gives you the existential crisis. Do you even give straight answer to a question? Does my conversation style bother you? How unfortunate. I should hope for the day when someone would just answer yes when you ask them a question if they killed a victim. Would your job be so easy? See, you just did it again. The puppet laughs, but Echo's face remains frozen. I don't think I'll get used to this. Are you refusing the answer on purpose? Don't ask me meaningless questions if you don't want meaningless answers. Alright, I guess I'll get to the point. Let's do the photo of the crime scene. You know what? Hold on. What should I ask first? Knife throwing act. Let's do that first. Are you familiar with the knife throwing act that Hattie performs? Nothing in particular. Really? Why would I be? I don't care if she parades around the stage with knives and axes or tweezers. It's got nothing to do with me. And is it true no one else in the circus can do knife throwing? Can you? No. Then why would you expect us to be able to? And before you ask, no one in the circus can talk on wires except Yan. And no one can eat fire except Aideen. Walk on wires. Okay, so Yan is the acrobat, and Aideen is the fire eater. Okay, so we got two more acts that we know. I get the point. Thank you. Alright. Time of death. Where were you at the night of the murder? I was walking around. Walking around? Like taking a stroll? Wasn't it raining outside? Perhaps I like walking in the rain. Is that a crime? Me too. Fine, go on. Is anybody else with you? Let me see the time. No, I don't have an alibi. I was alone outside, and then I wandered into the damn tent. I saw her lying there, already dead. Lying there? What? Were you the first one to find her? Can't say for sure if I was the first one, but I was the first one to tell others. Maybe someone else saw her and decided to pretend that they didn't. With how many questions I anticipate you are about to ask me, I'm beginning to think I should have done the same. What happened after you found her? I checked her pulse, and then I knew. I knew Moses wasn't going to be back for some time, so I had to do something. So you told the other performers what was going on? I only talked to a few people. Can you tell me a bit about who you talked to and what they were doing at the time? Would you also like me to tell you who eats what for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Yes, please. Just tell me who did you see after you found Hattie? I saw Alice, Adine, and Chip. Alice is the mechanic. Adine, I don't think we know about yet. I think Adine's the fire eater. And then Chip, we just met as the jokester. I question about him. He's too on point on his act still. Okay. We know about this one. He doesn't know about this one, but Adine? After I got Alice to close down the tent, I went to find Adine in her trailer. Wait, Adine? She's the fire performer. She's close with Hattie. What was she doing when you found her? She was just in her trailer with Yon, her little sister. I knocked on the door and told her what happened. And Yon was in the room with her? Yeah, that's what I just said. His whole thing is going to be so much slower than it already is if you insist on not paying attention and making me repeat myself. I agree. Sorry, go on. When I told Adine what happened, she went back inside and talked to Yan, then she insisted on seeing Hattie. Okay. So Elise. Who's Elise? She's the mechanic. We know who that is. Went to find her first so she could put up a sign out to stop everyone from entering the tent. What was she doing when you found her? I remember she was taking a nap in the stables. A nap? At 7 p.m.? Yeah. It was arrival day and she was up before sunrise setting up. She usually takes a nap after we finish unloading, and the stable back room was the only place that had a free bed ready. Was there anyone else with her? I didn't see anyone else, but I wasn't exactly scouting the place. It was dark and I had seen my colleague's corpse. Okay. Chip. Yeah, what was he doing? Who's Chip? The clown. That's not very nice. No, asshole, he's a clown. Just joking. The circus clown, right? Got it. Why did you go find Chip? I didn't. You asked who I saw, and I saw him when I was on my way to the stables to find Alice. What was he doing? I don't know. I was in a hurry going down the main road of the stables, but I saw him near the train, probably coming back from somewhere. You saw him near the train when you were on the main road? That's quite far. It was dark too, right? How did you know it was him? He was wearing a gaudy cowboy hat. I recognize that hat because I see it every damn day in our trailer. There were only a few of us that live here. No one would wear something like that unless they were trying to hide. Was it Chip? So he didn't see Chip exactly, just the hat. What happened then? So what happened after you informed them both? I let close off the tent. None of us touched anything until afterwards. Adine went to tell the others what happened. We waited until Moses got back and he decided to call the cops. The rest you probably already know. Okay. So he said he found Hattie's body at 7 p.m. He went to the stable back room to find Elise closed down the crime scene. On the way there, he supposedly saw Chip but we don't think it's Chip. We're not sure if it's Chip yet. Afterwards, he went to inform Aideen, who told her sister. Hmm. Let's talk about the crime scene photo and go from there. Can you take a look at this picture? The police took that, didn't they? Guess they finally did something right. Do you have anything to say about what's in this picture? No. That's what I saw when I went in. Nothing has been moved or changed at all? I'm not an idiot. I know not to disturb a crime scene. I checked her pulse. They didn't touch anything. Not that those bumbling officers found any fingerprints anyway. And Aideen and Ailey? They didn't move anything? No. This photo is exactly how I remember it. Okay. That's good. At least something I can work from. Every crime scene has its value, even though no fingerprints were found. Even when it creates more mysteries. Mysteries are good. Mysteries mean clues. When mysteries appear, they point me towards the right questions. When mysteries are solved, they form part of the right answer. So I find myself standing here, facts and theories about them flashing in my mind. Hattie was killed in the storage room, tied to a knife-throwing board, with a throwing knife in her heart. Echo was the first to find her, and if he is to be believed, the photo shows the exact state of the crime scene. Neither the room nor the state of Hattie's dress indicate a sign of struggle. How did the killer tie her up without a fight? It was willing, so that means she was close to somebody. The way I see it, there are three possible scenarios. Scenario A, she was tied to the board after her murder, which the blood doesn't say that's correct. Scenario B, she was tied when she was unconscious, which may be possible, but her eyes were open and everything. So, and the look she gave. Scenario C, she allowed herself to be tied up. That's the part I'm thinking. I need to examine each possibility carefully. Scenario A, she was tied up to the board after her death. Yep, this one seems the least likely given that some of her blood splattered onto the board as the pattern lined with the position. If she wasn't already tied up on the board, she would have been in that position. She wouldn't have been in that position when she was stabbed. Standing right in front of the board with her arms stretched out horizontally seems like an odd position to be in. I don't think she could have been killed in some other place or fashion than tied to the board and stabbed through the chest. I'm not a medic expert, but I've seen enough dead bodies to know there is too much bleeding for that position post-mortem. The stab wound had to have occurred when her heart was still beating. Scenario B, she was tied up when she was unconscious, which, given what happened to me, could be sort of a modus operandi for the killer. But Moses said there was no head wound or any other visible injuries on Hattie, apart from a killing blow. A physical attack seemed likely. That leaves the possibility that she was drugged. Either the killer had to drag her first and carry to the stage tent, or a risky move given it was during the day and there were plenty of other workers around, which isn't likely. Or the killer would have had to do it after they were both inside, contrary to popular belief. Almost nothing works instantaneously. A target would certainly notice a cloth and syringe and cause the struggle, which her hair wasn't matted or anything. Does her food or drinks is a possibility, but that usually takes even more time. If that were the case, it would confirm the assumption that the culprit is one of the other key members in the circus. But the hidden key question of the scenario remains. Why? Why go through all the trouble to set this up? Was the killer just trying to make it look like a magic act gone wrong, hoping it be dismissed as an accident? Perhaps it might have worked with Aiden, the usual target, but the fact that it's Hattie up is is reason alone to be suspicious of foul play. Or else, this is a symbolic reason for recreating a scene like this. But I'm not sure yet. Last scenario C. She allowed herself to be tied up by someone she trusted. Clearly, this has something to do with the knife throwing act. However, in her usual performance, Hattie is always the thrower, not the target. Now, if it were Hattie, why would I let someone throw knives at me while tied up? This one is hard. Why would she agree to it? Unless she was trying to teach somebody? Maybe she was teaching someone else the act, so she decided to step in and temporarily fill the role of performer? That's my thought. That would seem to explain the mirror as something the performer could use to observe themselves. The missing piece to the theory. Who was the person Hattie was trying to teach? What reason would they have to kill her? Did they plan the whole thing? What was the motive? How to get rid of Hattie and replace her? Could this be a bogus magician Moses? Could it be this bogus magician Moses he hired, which we know it's not? Had the adamant was not involved in this. He was adamant he was not involved in this. Maybe he got it wrong. We know it's not wrong though. Is it possible maybe the whole thing was an accident? That it was simply a practice gone wrong, and when the knife thrower aimed at the board, the knife tragically hit Hattie in the heart. Maybe out of guilt or fear of repercussions, the other person decided to leave and pretend that they were never there. So many possibilities and so little evidence. I don't think I have enough information to possibly answer these questions yet. The answer might just lie with one of the people who knew Hattie. If only I could find the right person and ask the right questions. You've been talking to yourself for about 10 minutes. Shit, I forgot about Echo. Forgot I was here? No, not at all. Do you have anything more to add? No. Okay, alright, thanks for the answers. He looks surprised by my sudden politeness. His face freezes mid-scorn. He nods uncomfortably. No need to thank me. Can you put the picture away now? I don't want to look at that. I saw it with my own eyes. That's fair. I'll put the photo back in my pocket. Hmm. 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 I'm not sure what else to ask him right now. Now I'm a little... confused. So if what he's told us is true, everything we have so far is correct. But that's a question. Was she drugged and tied to the thing? Or was she teaching somebody else the act? But who was she working with then? Nobody seems to step on each other's toes. That's why I'm a bit off. You know what? Oh, we don't have that girl's story about Hattie. Hmm. Wonder if I should ask him about the performance itself. No. Maybe I can ask him about this attack. I don't know right now. I can't be sure whether the attack has anything to do with my case yet, but it's rather embarrassing. Sure, I want to say something about this. Find something else to talk about. Or should I tell Echo about the incident? Let's tell Echo about the incident. Fine. This isn't. I feel this isn't going to turn out well. I launch into the story, avoiding the gaze of both him and the puppet. Wait. Wait. Oh, this is too precious. I don't even know where to begin. I think this is the first time I heard the most gleeful tune from him. You, a detective hired to solve a case, was hit by someone else, and now you yourself are the victim of another case that you can't solve. Yet. That I can't solve yet. Right. Oh, this is so entertaining. It's almost painful because it's far more ironic than anything else I could have come up with. Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying the situation at least. Oh, yes, it's quite enjoyable. I wonder what Moses will think when he realizes he hired an amnesic detective who couldn't even defend himself from robbers. I have no idea what Moses will think. Actually, it might not be good, but I can't show any sign of weakness with a serial killer on the loose. Are you done? I prefer this to be kept private, of course, but tell whoever you want. I'm here to solve a case, not to protect my ego. Why did you tell me this? God knows. Maybe I wanted to cheer you up. It certainly worked. We both stay quiet for a moment. If you were here before today, I haven't seen anyone like you around. So, take from that, take what you will from that. I think it was a peace offering of sorts. So, it's true. When I got here, I got the. I was doing research and got to my hotel, did research, but it seemed like I was maybe on my way to the circus, because where I was found, but I didn't get there. And Moses seemed to not know me. And he even thought that it was me or coming through when I was actually a magician. Ooh, boy. Okay. Interesting. Let's talk about the flyer. Have you seen this poster before? Yeah, of course. Where'd you get this? Just found it around. I mean, it's a flyer. You folks probably pass them around town, right? I examined the flyer again. Hattie. Good name for a magician. Bet her parents didn't see that coming. What makes you think her parents named her that? Huh? You don't think they started calling her amazing when she slid out of her mother's womb, do you? Of course not. Then what makes you think she was Hattie from birth? Are you telling me Hattie is a stage name? Oh, I'm not telling you anything. Just amusing myself. Hmm. About to ask something else when I am interrupted by the Calliope. Wonder if I should have looked around. I wonder if I would have seen the other magician. Oh well. I turned to look at the Calliope and noticed something intriguing. Yep, there she is! A woman standing in the corner. She's wearing a top hat, black dress, and purple ruffled gloves and boots. As if sensing someone is looking at her, she turns around. She's wearing a mask and covers half her face, like the ones you would see at a veterinary masquerade. Her eyes meet mine, and she gently tips her top hat. What are you staring at? My thoughts are interrupted by Echo. I'd forgotten about him for a moment. That's the magician your boss hired, right? Who? I turn to point to the woman, but she's gone. I think I saw the new magician just now. Oh, that fake Hattie. Yeah, Moses' idea. I don't know what he's thinking. Did she see me? Does she know who I am and what I'm here to do? I guess most questions would be left unanswered unless I managed to catch her alone somewhere. Ah, so maybe these two are working together and he's forgotten? But the tip of the hat is usually out of respect. But that is the end of the demo. What do you guys think? It was a longer one. Oh, I'm intrigued. I don't know. Echo, everybody seems to be pointing at Echo on on the magician's side. But if the story is true, okay, but it seems too obvious. But the question becomes, and I think this is going to be a guiding thing about it too, is was she awake or knocked out when she was on that board? If she was awake, she's the one that usually is doing the throwing knives. So was she teaching somebody? She must have really trusted that person. So what is really going on? And they were still setting up, so all of that had to have happened in that tent. Hmm. It makes me wonder because if somebody stabbed or coming closer, maybe she would have screamed or something, so maybe being knocked out is correct. But I don't know. Huh. There's a lot of questions to this one. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think? Who do you think? We didn't get to meet everybody. But who do you think might be the perpetrator? We don't have a lot of information, at least that I'm aware of. But maybe you saw something or thought of something that I didn't. But let me know down in the comments. Give it a like if you liked it, and let me know, is this one you're going to be playing? I might be. This is interesting. But that is going to be it for today. I hope you liked it, guys. And most of all, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Ooh, I wonder. Hmm. That jester I don't trust.